tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisadham masaradhi sattha deva manussanam buddho bhagavati buddham jivita paryantam saranam gacchami yecha buddha atita cha yecha buddha anagata pachuppanna cha ye buddha aham vandami sabbada nathi me saranam anyam buddho me saranam varam etena sacca vajjena hotu me jayamangalam uttamangena vandeham padapam suvaruttamam buddho yo khalito doso buddho khamatu tam mamam yam kinchiratanam loke vijjati vividham pudhu ratanam buddha samam natti tasma sotti bhavantu me yo sannisinno varabodhi mule maram sasenam mahatim vijetva sambodhi magacchi anantayano lokottamotam panamami buddham. I'm happy to invite all of you to the International Buddhist Conference. This conference is being held on virtual mode. This conference is organized by the Jawaharlal Nehru University in collaboration with the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Government of India. The central theme of the conference is the spread of Buddhist thought. The conference is the part of Global Buddhist Conference organized by it is called GBC, organized by the IBC, International Buddhist Confederation. The conference will focus on the reflections of Buddhist thought spread worldwide, including the Indian states. I am glad that many of my friends have agreed to present their views at our international conference. The invited speakers will present their research papers on various Buddhist ethics and philosophical traditions that have spread and grown in various parts of the world. Scholars will explore the historical and cultural influence of Buddhism on the Buddhist traditions of their countries. They will focus on various practices, arts, sculptures, philosophical schools, and other traditions of Buddhism, including literature. I'm happy that Buddhist academicians across the globe have accepted my request to be part of this conference. We are doing this conference from JNU. The Jawaharlal Nehru University stands for the transformation. It exemplifies the positive aspects of human habitation and intervention. India was the storehouse of Buddhist wisdom. During the Maurya Empire, the Indian culture and way of life were deeply influenced by Buddhism. Buddhism's influence remains present in Indian art, culture, and architecture and literature. The three lines of Ashoka pillar, which independent India has adopted as its national emblem. This symbolizes the impact of Buddhist thought on the India and its people. After the conquest, Buddhism largely disappeared from the most of India, it is only surviving in Himalayan regions and some parts of southern India. According to Random Collins, Buddhism was already declined in India by the 12th century, but it nearly became extinct in India in the 12th century due to the Muslim invasions. When India was at the highest of its power, Indian priests and scholars traveled abroad and spread Buddhism widely across Tibet and China, and then Japan and other countries also, and also throughout the Southeast Asia via Sri Lanka. China uses Buddhism to increase its influence in nearby regions by acquiring predominant access to influential Buddhist organizations. Meanwhile, India, which has been home to Buddhism since its birth, sees Buddhism as a way of strengthening its relationship with Southeast Asian nations and preserving the religious and cultural practices of Tibetan Buddhist people who have sought refuge in India. I'm glad to invite all of you to this conference, those who have given time for this, to welcome Venerable Dr. Dhammappiya, the Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation. The International Buddhist Confederation is a global umbrella Buddhist body headquartered in New Delhi, India. Venerable Dhammappiya also is the founder of Dhamma-Deepa Foundation, Secretary General of the Northeast India Buddhist Sangha Council, and the founder and chairman of Bahujana Hitaya Education Trust. So now I request Venerable Dr. Dhammappiya to deliver his speech and to give some blessings and also give the Mangalacharan of this program. Dr. Dhammappiya.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dudiyampi tatiyampi. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Itipiso bhagava arahang Samma sambuddho Vijja charana sampanno Lokavidu anuttaro Purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manusanang Buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sandithiko okaliko ehipassiko apanayiko paccetang veditabbo vinyohiti supatipanno bhagavato savaga sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaga sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaga sangho Samechipatipanno bhagavato savaga sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani Atha Purisa Puggala Issa Bhagavato Savaga Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakhineyo Anjali Karanyo Anuttarang Punyaketang Lokasati Dukkha Petta Cha Nidukha Bhaya Petta Cha Nibhaya Soka Petta Cha Nisoka Antu Sabapi Panina Bhavatu Sabba Mangalam Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Buddha Nubhavena Sabba Dhamma Nubhavena Sabba Sangha Nubhavena Sadha Sukhi Bhavantu Te. A very good morning to everyone who have joined this International Buddhist Conference online or who are viewing through different platforms. On behalf of Jawaharlal Nehru University, Department of or the School of Sanskrit and Indic Studies and ICCR and IBC, I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this inaugural session of this 2 days International Buddhist Conference. Honorable Minister of State, Srimati Meenakshi Lekhiji, who is the Minister of External Affairs and Culture, MOS. Also, DDG ICCR, Shri Chinmoy Nayak ji, Professor Sri Upendra Rao ji, erudite Buddhist scholars, academicians, venerable masters, venerable monks and nuns, and my brothers, sisters, and friends in Dhamma. It is really a good beginning or something that has taught during this COVID period that we can join now globally, sitting at our home or in our temple, viharas, gumpas, and communicate, exchange our ideas and views, which we never thought of earlier. It would be that easy through Zoom, through Google Meet, and through some other platform. Now it is made possible that we can exchange our thoughts and ideas through online mode. And today is one of the international conference so that IBC proposed to organize. IBC, International Buddhist Confederation, as a part of the Global Buddhist Conclave, which was supposed to be organized by this Minister of Tourism and Navadananda Mahavihara in the third week or fourth week of November, that IBC proposed to organize series of pre-conferences or regional conferences, 4 in India and 4 outside India, out of which 4 outside India we have already completed. 1 conference with Thailand, 1 conference with Cambodia, 1 conference with South Korea, 1 conference with Japan. And in India, we have completed one in Dharamshala, one in the Hyderabad, Telangana, and today we are having the third one within India, is with the School of Sanskrit and Pali, JNU India. And on 1st of November, we'll be having another conference in Gangtok. The idea is to bring the Buddhist scholars, academicians, and practitioners, venerable monks and nuns from around the globe to the homeland of India, where after these 8 conferences, the Minister of Tourism wants to get selected from among the presenters or scholars to India, that we can have a rigorous kind of thinking and discussion, deliberations at the closing program of the international conference to be held at Nalanda Mahavihara. Probably it might take place in the beginning of next year, January or so, probably. Today we are discussing on the topic, the spread of Buddhist thought. And I have seen there are many papers and abstracts prepared by many experts, scholars. But here I have a very simple submission. That is, before we start to discuss about the spread of Buddhism or Buddhist thought, as you want to put it, we need to understand and emphasize the origin of Buddha Vachana, I would say. The origin of Buddha Vachana, the origin of Buddha's teaching. It is because we have seen in last probably a decade or so, there is a trend. Some people who have been misled by some elements to create confusion about the historical evidence and historical data of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. There are some people, though number is small, but not that small, in thousands, maybe in lakhs nowadays, who are trying to create a confusion and impression that Buddha was not born in Lumbini or Nepal. Siddhartha Gautama did not get enlightenment in Bodh Gaya. And all the teachings of the Buddha was not in different states of India, but it was in some other countries. I do not want to name the countries. I would leave to you to find out. It is in our neighboring countries somewhere. So this kind of confusion is being created and misleading some people. We have received some response that recently we had inauguration or opening of Kushinagar International Airport, which was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister of India. And it was highly appreciated by the global Buddhist community world over. But there was some section of people who tried to mislead the Buddhist masses, saying that why should the Kushinagar be considered in India? It's not in India, it is somewhere else. So these kind of things have been raised, and we came to know all these kind of things. I want to emphasize today that the historical Buddha was born in Lumbini, which is part of Nepal, that is Siddhartha Gautama. Nobody can deny that, right? And the transformation that took place in the life of the Prince Siddhartha Gautama, when he traveled from Lumbini, Kapilavastu to Uruvela, now today's Bodh Gaya. The transformation was from Siddhartha Gautama, Prince Siddhartha Gautama, he became the Gautama the Buddha. You see, that was a great transformation. It was historical transformation, not some kahini or story made by some Buddha. Right. So then the next phase of transformation, you see, after becoming fully enlightened, the Buddha, he traveled from Bodh Gaya to Saranath to Vaishali to Rajgarh to Nalanda to Sravasti to Pava to so many other places. And during his journey, there were thousands of people, thousands of men, women belonging to different social strata, different background, social background, cultural background, and background of different faiths and beliefs. Many of them have joined the Buddha Sangha, and in large number, they have taken refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and they got established in path and fruition. So in this journey, the Buddha had transformed the lives of thousands, of hundreds, of thousands of people during his lifetime. And all these were historical, and all that took place in the Jambudvipa. And today we know as India and this Nepal. The historical evidence that nobody can deny. We have all archaeological evidences for that. The transformation, when we talk about transformation, the transformation is not simple transformation. The Buddha has given relief to hundreds of thousands of people who were wriggling under what we call michhaditti, or wrong views, wrong understanding of the world, wrong understanding of the nature, the functioning of the natural world. And it was Buddha who has given them the perspective to understand the real nature of things, the cause and effect relationship, how things are interdependent, how the people, the living beings are interrelated, how causing one particular entity or person or being can lead to disturbance in the society or in the world. And if we want to have a harmony, peace, tranquility, and freedom from misery and suffering, then definitely it is necessary for those who desire to have peace and harmony, tranquility, and freedom to follow the path which is clearly explained and understandable, not by some promises. So when we are talking today here about Buddhist thought and the spread of Buddhist thought, what I would like to emphasize here is that let us begin with the original, the Vachana or the teachings of the Buddha that started from India. Let us accept the fact, number one. Number two is, in the second phase, the first phase of transformation was within India. Then second phase, it traveled from the homeland of Buddha Dhamma, Buddha Vachana, to its neighboring countries, Southeast Asian countries, Central Asia, to Far East. And when the Buddha Vachana traveled, it traveled not only Buddha Vachana, along with Buddha Vachana, it traveled the other Indic culture, values, language, literature, art. For example, if we see the influence of language in Southeast Asian countries, either it is Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, like that, we find the influence of either Sanskrit or Pali in their languages. So when Buddha's teaching traveled, it did not travel dry thing. It carried the values and teachings of this Mahan Bharat, the great India. So in that way, we are interconnected and interlinked, interdependent. Homeland of Buddhism or Buddha is India, definitely, and where this our neighboring countries are connected with India. And it is said the Gautama Buddha appeared at Bodh Gaya. Bodh Gaya is the navel of the world, the earth, and the future Buddhas also will appear at the same place. That means what we understand today or know as Bodh Gaya. It's very important that when we discuss Buddhist thought or the spread of Buddhist thought, not only limit it to academic discussion, because the Buddha was concerned much more about the suffering world. The human beings which are undergoing suffering, misery, trauma. During Buddha's time, the suffering, misery was of some different kind. And today, in the 20th and 21st century, we have the suffering and misery of different kind. The kind of misery we have seen due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and now this climate change, and then these natural disasters, tsunami, and many other things. So this dukkha is dukkha. The problem or suffering is suffering. It may be of different intensity, different things. So our focus should be not only discussing on the Buddhist thought or Buddha Vachana, Buddha's teaching, but communicating the path that Buddha has shown to the people, how we can elevate ourselves. First is elevation, elevate, improve ourselves so that we can be untouched by the suffering world, or we can help the suffering world to alleviate now. First elevate, then second alleviate, remove the suffering from the world. I think then there is some meaning. First we learn, understand the nature of the world, the functioning of the world, academically, theoretically, whatever we call that, but not limiting to that academic pursuit or academic discussion. Give the practical solution to the masses so that pati, the practical aspect comes when we really practice and we expect some realization transcending the human suffering world, and we can reach something which is much higher and better, which can help the world to move towards something called a balance and a world where there can be harmonious coexistence and chaos and conflict can be reduced and removed. At the end, I like this sloka, which there in Sanskrit I understand. Asatoma sadghamaya, you see. Very important. Tamasoma jyotirghamaya. Mitturma amitam gamaya. So this sloka is, as it is part of Indic culture, same what the Buddha had asked people to do, and the Buddha has experimented and shown practically. Asatoma sadghamaya, that is from ignorance, lead me to the truth. That's what Buddha used to emphasize, avidya or avidya. Due to avidya and avijja or ignorance, all the problems that manifest in the world caused by human beings. So we have to overcome the ignorance or avidya, raise above, remove avidya. How? Buddha has given Eightfold Noble Path. Once you try to know the real nature of things, then automatically avidya will disappear. That is what this sloka is also very important and relevant. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya, the same kind of thing, the darkness. Darkness means what? It is only symbolic form. Darkness of our own negative nature, negative potential, propensities, all defilements, all the conditions that we cultivate, or knowingly or unknowingly we nurture it, which causes suffering to oneself and suffering to the people. So it is necessary that we cultivate and nurture such kind of habits or the qualities which are positive. That means leading oneself from darkness to light. This tamasoma vitirgamaya is very important. And then Niturma amitam gamaya. That's what Buddha has said. Once you transcend the defiled condition of living, when you have removed all the defiling factors, all the nivaranas, all the kilesas, when you achieve the state of Satagami, Sakadagami, Anagami, then Arahat, Maggaphala, you can experience in this very world the state of Nibbana, which is deathlessness. You don't have to wait for the next life to achieve that Amitam state, deathlessness. In this very state you can achieve. So these are, you see, so much interrelated and connected with the teachings of the Buddha, as all this is a part of Indic culture. I hope all our scholars will be having great discussions and deliberation on the theme that has been chosen. But only my request will be, let us try to give some practical perspective for the masses so that we can all collectively do something to transform the world that we need today. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji, for your excellent speech, and also for your excellent Mangalacharan, and also your views. As you said, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. This is very, very impressive. And it is very, very similar to the Buddha's teachings. I thank Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General of IBC, for giving time to this conference. And now I request our chief guest, Meenakshi Lekhiji, who is the who is Indian politician basically, and now the current Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture of India. So I'm glad to invite Sushri Meenakshi Lekhiji, the Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture of India. She is a member of Parliament from New Delhi Parliamentary Constituency in the 16th and 17th Lok Sabha from Bharatiya Janata Party. She is also a lawyer in a Supreme Court of India. I am very happy that she has accepted and she has sent her message. Now I request begin her message.
Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji, Secretary General of International Buddhist Confederation, Shri Vinay Sahasrabuddhaji, President ICCR, Shri Dinesh Patnaikji, DG ICCR, Professor C. Upendra Rao ji, Director of the conference, all delegates. Today, I'm grateful to the organizers for inviting me for the conference. I'm glad to know that this international conference is being organized in association with the International Buddhist Confederation and the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. The conference aims to proliferate Buddhist thought, and I truly believe that this conference will allow the youth also to understand Buddhism and its underlying philosophy. The central theme of the conference is the spread of Buddhist thought. This conference will focus on the reflections of Indian Buddhist traditions spread worldwide. Many countries have inherited a common spiritual heritage from Lord Buddha. We all know that many events of the Lord Buddha's life, such as the place where Lord Buddha attained nirvana, the place where Lord Buddha gave his first sermon, the place where he attained Mahaparinirvana, are all here in India. The Buddhist thought originated in India, had spread throughout the world, and it has grown in distinct streams and practices. The Theravada in South and Southeast Asia, Mahayana in East Asia, and the Vajrayana in Tibet. Having originated in India, Buddhist thought had spread throughout the entire globe. As you all must be aware, recently we all celebrated Buddhist Abhidhamma Day at the Mahaparinirvana Temple in Kushinagar, Uttar Pradesh. The event was attended by eminent monks from various countries. At the event, our Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, said, Buddha's message is for the whole world. Buddha's Dhamma is for humanity. Friends, I believe that since ancient times, the Buddhist way of life has reached many parts of the world, continuing even today. Buddhism is a way of life, a spiritual tradition which encourages people to avoid self-indulgence. I have been informed that several well-known foreign and Indian Buddhist scholars are taking part in this virtual conference. Speakers will also present their research papers on various Buddhist traditions spread over in multiple parts of the world. I've also been told that an e-book or abstracts was taught well before the commencement of the International Buddhist Conference by Professor Chaudhry Upendra Rao. I congratulate him on his noble and inspiring activity. I wish all success for this International Buddhist Conference and welcome all delegates to present their extraordinary presentations. I'm glad the book will be published after the conference with the help of ICCR New Delhi. I once again congratulate the team at JNU on this noble endeavor. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much to our respected Chief Guest, Meenakshi Lekhiji, Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, Government of India. And we are happy with her message, and we got a lot of inspiration with her message and speech. Now, I'm glad to invite our guest of honor, Sri Chinmay Nayakji, who is the Deputy Director General of Culture in ICCR. I request respected Sri Chinmay Nayakji to deliver his speech.
Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs, Srimati Meenakshi Lekhiji, Venerable Dr. Dhammapriya, Secretary General of IBC, Professor C. Upendra Rao of JNU, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to be asked to address this conference being jointly organized by ICCR, JNU, and the IBC. Promotion of ancient Indian cultural heritage has always been the priority of ICCR. While ICCR has been engaged in academic exchanges with other countries in the world through the establishment of scholarships to foreign students, establishment of chairs of Indian studies and languages in foreign universities, organizing conferences, seminars and lectures in related themes. Concerted efforts have been made since 2014 to renew the global interest in various aspects of Indian culture, such as Indian history, philosophy, Sanskrit, yoga, Ayurveda, and of course, Buddhism. And despite the recent pandemic, or shall I say, which is still ongoing, we have seen continued interest around the world in these fields, and ICCR is happy to continue supporting these activities in the post-pandemic scenario. Following this path guided by Honorable Prime Minister of India, ICCR has taken some landmark initiatives such as supporting the International Yoga Day the world over, launching of prestigious international awards in the fields of Indology, Sanskrit, and foreign alumni of India, conferences on these themes, etc. In the same vein, ICCR has also been supporting activities in the field of Buddhism and its various dimensions. It is in that context that ICCR is happy to support today's conference as well. Taking such initiatives forward and in consonance with the mandate envisioned by the Honorable Prime Minister under the project of revival of India as a global center of Buddhist culture and tourism. I wish to inform that ICCR is collaborating with the Ministry of Tourism to organize the first ever Global Buddhist Conference as part of the flagship event, the International Buddhist Conclave in January 2022. On that occasion, ICCR is also intending to launch the first annual International Buddhist Studies Award to be conferred upon an eminent international Buddhist scholar or organization or institution recognizing the contribution made towards promotion of Indian Buddhist heritage globally. The IBC and various Buddhist universities, institutions in India and abroad will be stakeholders in both these initiatives. And as a run-up to that flagship event in January, which I mentioned, we have and we are organizing a number of regional conferences, and I'm happy to note that today is one of those as well. And the outcomes of these conferences will into that to be held January. And I hope and I expect that many of the participating scholars of this conference will be part of that event as well. I can see that today's the conference, today's and tomorrow's conference has a very rich agenda on the theme of the spread of Buddhist thought, and it's a very well chosen topic, and I congratulate the organizers for the initiative and for convening rich galaxy of scholars and speakers from India and around the world. And we would look forward to the deliberations, the presentations, as well as outcomes, as our Honorable Minister also said. I once again thank JNU for taking the initiative to organize this conference, and also appreciate our partners in IBC for yet another joint effort with ICCR. I thank you once again, and I thank you for this opportunity. I wish all the best to this conference.
Thank you very much, Sri Chinmay Nayak ji, for coming and giving excellent inspiration for us for this conference. Thank you very much. And I take this opportunity to thank all speakers who came to our inaugural session. I thank from my side and from the conference side, Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General of IBC. I thank Chief Guest Meenakshi Lekhiji, Minister of State of External Affairs and Culture, Government of India, and also thank our guest of honor, Sri Chinmay Nayak ji, for giving and delivering excellent speech.
And this conference definitely is going to make a big impact, and we definitely need both the theory, the practice, and the experience of the teachings of the Buddha at this time when everyone is in a process of crisis and conflict, and Dhamma alone is the panacea for coming out of this. And I'm sorry I won't be able to continue, but all my good wishes, and my support to this conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And Dr. Pant is the former director of Navalanda Mahavihara and a good Buddhist scholar.